Are you curious about the type of items that can sell for over £100? Well, today I've got 10 for you that I've sold recently, and I guarantee at least a few will surprise you. Okay, welcome. So my name's Kieran Hughes Jones. I'm an antiques dealer based in South Wales. I sell through my website, which is taliesinantiques.com, and through other platforms online such as eBay. So let's enjoy these antiques together. I've been selling these now for the last couple of months. They've all been sold within the last couple of months, all for over £100. So let's have a look at them, see what's hot right now on the market, and we'll start with number one. Number one, a rare French Faience flask with grotesque masked candles, £195. Now, Faience is a type of tin glazed pottery, and this particular piece was really something special. So it's standing at 14.5 inches tall, massive size, as you can see, just incredibly decorative, beautifully painted floral scrolls, and then you had these grotesque mass handles with the horns coming out it back into the piece. It's just a truly striking piece. Now, the mark on the bottom I was able to find online, and I believe it belongs to a French ceramicist known as Gabriel Formin-Troz. I think I've said that correctly. Happy to be told differently. Now, he was based in the French region of Desrez. Again, tell me if I got it wrong, but that's a region which is famous for this type of pottery. You know, this really ornate, kind of almost, what's the best word to describe it? Elaborate designs with really kind of like, you know, striking pieces like those grotesque masks. It's a bit like Majolica pottery, which is also known for this, but it's not actually the same. Now, this dates to about the early 20th century. That's when the artist was most active, and it actually had, the lid was a repair. So it goes to show you that just because something's broken, you don't have to write it off completely. Of course, the value goes down, but a lot of people are forgiving of things like that, especially when it's something like this on the top. It's not as visible. Now, this went up on my website for £195, and it sold within, I think it sold within 24 hours. So when something like that happens, I always wonder, could I have asked for more? But you know what, I'm happy with that price. That's why I paid that price in the first place, and the way it went. So there's number one. Number two, an Indo-Persian Kulak helmet, £165. Now, this helmet stood at 18-inch tall and represents the type of helmet that were used across the Persian and Indian territories from about the 17th to the 19th centuries. Now, they were used for ceremonial purposes, and they were used on the battlefield as well. Now, it's worth noting, originals from this period can go for thousands. This one is a reproduction, and they were making reproductions from the late 19th century, I believe, into modern times. Now, I believe this was an earlier one, and there was enough patina on it and old forged nails that gave me that suggestion. And as a result, I put it up for £165, and it sold on my website. So yeah, the buyer actually called me up on this one and said they'd been looking for this type of thing for a while. They knew what it was, they read my description, and they were very happy with it. So there we go, another good purchase and another good sell. Number three, a Moroccan Safi ceramic tagine, £100. So here's a little tip for you. It's worth learning about Moroccan pottery. The older pieces especially, but even the modern pieces can fetch good prices. Now, Moroccan pottery is known for these vibrant, colourful glazes and the geometric patterns influenced by Islamic art and by the Berber traditions from the area. Now, this is a tagine. It's a wonderful example. So not only is it decorative, it's actually used for keeping food moist and retaining flavour after it's been cooked. And the base on this one is signed Safi. That's a city in Morocco, so if you see that signature, you know where it's from. The Arabic script that accompanies it on this one as well, I believe, suggests it's an older example. I think this is from the early 20th century, maybe mid 20th century. A really nice piece, and sold for £100. Number four, an Inuit stone carving by Ohito Ashuna, £195. So this is my second little tip, and that's to keep an eye out for Inuit art, because it's truly special pieces and it has a very strong following. Now, this one isn't an antique, it's from the late 20th century, but I think it's worth including because you do see these more and more, and Inuit art doesn't generally go back that far. It's usually from the mid 20th century onwards. Now, this one is a particularly simple but a very sort of striking artistic design. And what's great about Inuit art is that it represents the connection between the people of that region and their environment, and they use all locally sourced materials. So on this one, it's actually carved from dark steatite and nushuk stone, and it came with the original label, which helped me identify the artist. And if you can identify the artists of these pieces, you can significantly increase the value. So this one was by Ohito Shuna, who, if you have a look online, you'll see that they achieve very good prices for their works, and it's sold on eBay. So again, a very nice piece and one to keep an eye out for. Number 5, a poor Ysart glass paperweight, £150. Now in Scotland, throughout the 20th century, there's an amazing tradition of making glass paperweights with several different factories. This one is made by Paul Ysart, who's a very highly respected and followed glass paperweight maker. This one coming from the mid 20th century. And he's known for these beautiful designs. As you can see on this one, you've got the 12 Latino canes around the sides, all arranged around a central cluster of these vibrant, colourful, beautiful Millefiori canes, just there all in the centre. So a stunning piece, just looks amazing. No wonder it has such a good following, and they're able to achieve such good prices. Number 6, an artist's articulated lay figure mannequin, £220. Now I actually had 2 of these sell within the last few months, both for over £100. This one was the higher. Now lay figures were used by artists and sculptors to create poses and forms for when they were creating figural scenes in their work. Now the older, the larger, the more authentic these pieces are, the higher they will go for. Now you will see some, if you have a look, go for thousands of pounds, all from around the early 20th century, late 19th century. Now this one had original paint splatter across it and some nice darkening material on the patina on the wood. So I believe it is at least mid 20th century, potentially a little bit older, and that's why it achieved such a good price. So they're ones to look out for too. 7, a pair of Japanese cloisonné vases, £200. Now if you haven't already, I'm going to suggest going back and checking out a video I did about understanding Chinese and Japanese cloisonné. It's packed with useful tips about age and identifying them, and here's why. These are a beautiful pair and they're worth knowing about. Now cloisonné means enamel, like a glass substance, over metal, and you creating these beautiful different designs. Now this one was a panel decoration with mythical beasts within the centre of them. There were some damage on these, but because cloisonné is so fragile, the minor dents and little bits of damage is forgiven generally by buyers. So these achieved a very good price, and as you can see in the pictures, they just absolutely steal the show. So they are beautiful, beautiful designs, and that's why they're worth so much. Number 8, a Japanese Imari porcelain plate, £108. So we're sticking with the Japanese pieces. This is a stunning example of Imari porcelain. Now, Imari refers to a distinctive colours and patterns often found in Japanese porcelain. As you can see, you've got the rich red, deep blues, gold accents. If you haven't already, I did a video recently about packaging a massive porcelain charger, which was also Imari from Japan. That actually sold for £495, so it does show you what type of values good Imari porcelain can get. This is just a beautiful example, and it's a smaller one, but achieved £108 because of the design and sheer quality on it, and it was clearly of good age, late 19th century Meiji period, I believe. Now some dealers don't buy Imari porcelain anymore because a lot of people think that market has dipped, and there were so many of them made it kind of devalues a lot of it. But you can't ignore good quality examples like this one and the ones with good age, so worth keeping an eye out for because there is still a good market out there. Number 9, a Chinese archaic style elephant censer, £200. Now this is an interesting one. It's a very unusual censer, which is the type of incense burner, and it's shaped, as you can see, like an elephant. Now archaic refers to ancient Chinese methods and motifs, but I say style because I think this was probably much later, maybe not late 19th century, early 20th century. And as you can see, it's got these semi-precious stones inlaid around the body, so it did really make it stand out, and you can tell whenever it was made, a lot of skill and patience has gone into making it. Now, I wasn't sure what to do with this one, to be honest. I couldn't find anything similar and get a reliable selling price, so I went in what I thought was the high end of £200, and it sold for the asking price within about a month or so. So who knows, potentially it was worth more, or maybe it was just one of those, it was a one-off sale. You let me know, what do you think? But definitely an interesting one. Number 10, an oil painting of the Lake District, £220. So we're going to finish on a good one here, and you've got this lovely atmospheric scene of Scarfell Pike, which is a mountain in the Lake District set over that really nice water. Just a great scene, and I think this came from the early to mid 20th century. I'm basing that on the frame itself being probably from that period. If you look at the back as well, there wasn't a lot of patina. Patina on the canvas would be kind of like a darkening on the wood and the canvas itself, so there wasn't a lot of that. So I thought it was probably from that date range, not going into the 19th century. Now, it was signed with a monogram. Now, monogram, which is the initials, can be very difficult to identify the artist. I couldn't on this one, so it had to be sold as just signed but artist unidentified. That can make it more difficult to sell a painting. However, when you've got this situation, or when it's not signed at all, you're looking at the subject and quality. And I thought this one would appeal to people because it's of a scene which is a very popular destination in the Lake District. A lot of people like visiting there, and it just looked beautiful. You know, it really had this amazing scene, real nice intense feel to it. So I believed in it, and it went well. It was a good sale and a good return. So that's something to think about when you're looking at paintings. There you have it. That's 10 sales, all over £100 within the last couple of months. And I'd love to know what you think. Do you have a favourite? Are you surprised that any of them sold for that much? Do you think that maybe I undersold anything, perhaps? Do you have your own story about an item that you sold that you think is worth sharing? Please leave a comment below. I would love to read about them. Now, I'm sure a few of you are wondering how much I paid for them myself. It varies, but I can assure you I made a good profit on all of them, and I certainly didn't pay over £100 for any of those items. So when you're out and about shopping and you maybe see something like this, maybe it's worth a punt, especially if it's at a good price. So there we have it. Thanks for watching. Now I'm going to do a quick video recommendation, this time not for my own channel. If you go over to Antiques Arena, I'm sure most of you have heard of that channel. Me and Edward did a 2-hour long chat the other day about starting up as an antique dealer. It's a great video. It's a long watch, but watching in segments or in the background, you know, it's worth doing, especially if you're in the trade. So yeah, go and check that one out. So thanks again, and I will be back again. Maybe I'll make another video about this, but I need to go and sell some items for over £100 first of all, so it might be a bit of time before I do that. But yeah, I'll be back soon with different videos. Thanks again, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.